Hey, what's up guys, it's Kat, and today I'm going to be profiling my Gandeeva deck that I will more than likely be taking to this week's tournament. Like Leo said, this isn't like a cup or anything, and last week I would say we both played meta-ish decks. He played Blangmire and I played Lima, if you saw those videos. And I wanted to have fun. I know he mentioned it in his deck, in his profile, that I'm not a huge fan of Mask. I'm not going to get too into it right now. Maybe we'll talk about it at some point, maybe in a different video. I just don't think Mask offered anything. It lets you get Persona Raid if you go second, but honestly, this deck doesn't truly care much about that Persona Raid. So I'm pretty happy with now building an actual list for Gandeeva that I want to try out and maybe tweak. Me and Leo worked on this deck. I came up with the initial shell and he helped me tweak it. And I hope you guys enjoy this deck. Starting with the right line, we're just playing the Scarlet frame right line. It's the old one, nothing new. Starter. If your opponent has one or less, you don't have to discard a ride, so it helps you conserve cards. And the grade 2, when you ride into the grade 3, makes your CB cost free, which is really good on your first ride. And what does Gandeeva do if you don't know? Anytime your opponent's rear guard is retired by your ability, you get to bind a card from your drop face down. And the reason you want to do that is because continuous, your front row gets +2 for every bind card you have. And if you have 5, he gets a crit. So already you can see the amount of power he can get with 5 cards. That's already Persona Raid power, and he gets himself a crit. And your deck, this deck is pretty much built to just bind a ton. Like with his actual once per turn ability, you can counter +1, choose 5 of your opponent rear guards with different grades, so like 0, 1, 2, 3. And then you reveal the top 5, and if any of those grades match, you get to retire them, which feeds into his other ability to bind. So you see Gandeeva is just, he fulfills himself, and his rear guards just do that as well. So we're going to be playing 2 more copies of the Persona Raid. You don't really need, like I said, I think 2 is enough. If they give us Sturgna, which is one of the grade 3 we're playing, back to full power, he's currently at 1 if you don't know. If they were to give him us back, I'd probably cut the Persona Raids for him. Reason being, Sturgna is really good, because on place you can Soul Blast 1, bind one of your other rear guards face down, to either retire one of your opponent's rear guards, but if you can't retire, you bind a card from your drop face down, and you draw a card, which is an effect a lot of them share. This guy's really good at letting you get your 5 really fast on your first grade 3 turn, which is why they hit him to 1. And I hope they bring him back. But for now, we're also playing 2 copies of Bravelin. He's one of the newer ones, quote-unquote newer ones. He's a little different. His effect procs when he attacks, but he also has the ability, when he's revealed from deck for, say, Gandeeva skill, he counts as all grades. So if you target your opponent's like a grade 1, 2, and 3 and you reveal him, you will retire all 3. It doesn't matter if the rest were, say, triggers. And then when he attacks, you can bind a card from your hand face down and do the exact same thing, and he also gives himself like +5 power, which is pretty good. I'm only playing 2 realistically, because it's decent for the bind, but I'm mostly playing it for the Forbid Doll target. This acts as a second copy of Sturgna. The card's so good, I want to play a way to tutor it. Forbid Doll lets you get 2 grade 3s from your deck and just call them the board, which is just awesome. But our main order is Best Harvest. Best Harvest is technically a Eugene card, but we'll use this card way better than he ever could. You'll play this for free, by the way, there's no cost on this. And every time your opponent's rear guard is retired, you get to draw a card. So if they don't call rear guards, your effects are just going to draw you cards. And if they do call rear guards and make you stop drawing cards, this will let us draw cards regardless. So that's all the grade 3s. For grade 2s, we're playing 4 copies of Farquhar, or Alphagar, it's hard to pronounce these names. He is your multi-attacker. After your Gandeeva Vanguard attacks, you can CB1, bind him face down to look at the top 5 cards, and then call a card. Obviously, this can't be once per turn, and we are playing Dragon OT in this deck, so if you were to swing with your Gandeeva OT and somehow call this off of his ability, you could technically do it again. That's more of a pipe dream, but hey, I think I pulled it off like once a long time ago. But he is our multi-attacker, so we are going to be playing 4. Along with our other multi-attacker, 4 copies of Durgam. He is one of the newer ones for sure. Really cool ability. When he's placed, you can, as long as you have a grade 3 Red with Eugene or Gandeeva, do the retire thing, but if they don't have anything to retire, he allows you once per turn at the end of how your Vanguard attacked to stand when you have the regards, and if you played a normal order this turn, he gets boost. So you want to put this behind Gandeeva if possible, if you can play an order, to restand, say, your other grade 3, this guy, to get another bind, to get more power. It's just really good. I don't know why they gave us a second multi-attacker in this deck, but I think they were hoping it was going to use more Eugene, but this deck will abuse it regardless, along with Boltbreamer. Boltbreamer is a promo. I'm not sure if he got reprinted yet. I don't think it's completely necessary. If you don't have it, you can play like Brachiosaurus, or you can play the other Gandeeva grade 2. I just like this guy because he allows the rush on grade 2. When he attacks, he gets +5 as long as you have a Scarlet Flame Vanguard. So your right line. At the end of the battle, he attacks. You can CB1, retire him, do the retire thing, or draw a card. And then you get to bind a card face down.
For grade 1s, we're playing 3 copies of Ganem, the newest card. He's very simple. When he's placed on rear, if you Vanguard with Scarlet Flame, just like Bullbreamer, it allows you to do it earlier. You can Soul Blast 1, look at the top 7 cards, and you get up to 1 grade 3 card without Regalis. So this can search your Gandeeva, your Sternum, your not for Bidol because that is a Regalis piece. So that's very important to note. And then you can just add it to your hand, and then if you rebuild a card and added a card, choose a card from your hand, and you bind it face down. Which is not really a cost because you do want to bind cards. And then once per turn, back row rear. If a unit was placed during a battle or a unit in the same column as him stands, he stands. And at the end of the turn, he goes into Soul. So if it gives you Soul, it gives you a restanding booster. It's just a really good card. We're playing 3 copies of Boken. Each is a counter charger. When your Gandeeva attacks, you bind him face down in counter charge 1. It's really good. I don't think you need more than 3 because your opponent's going to die in either your first grade 3 turn or your Persona turn. That's pretty much all I've needed. And we are playing 4 copies of Shiri. So this deck really isn't budget because of this. I don't know if it was really budget before that. But it is something new I've added. I like it because it gives us Soul. We have 2 units now who use Soul, technically 3 with Sturgna. And it also draws a card. It gets plus 5k power. I've been liking it. You can definitely cut it if you'd like. They do have a grade 1 double rare that can sort of fit the slot. I've just been really enjoying Shiri. And then obviously 3 PGs, 1 Sanctitude. Not much to say there. For triggers, 8 crits. Not very fancy. 3 fronts, because we do want to give our front row even more power to just try to kill opponents as best as possible. 4 heals, I just play vanilla, because use effects for your own locals. And then, as I said earlier, Dragon Pyro T. This can restand your Vanguard, so Gandeeva has an extra crit, all that extra power, more drive checks. If you hit it, you have a really, really high chance of winning just because of the natural crit from Gandeeva. But then again, if you hit OT with any deck, you probably will win that turn anyway. But yeah, that's the list. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I don't think I'm going to change it once Mask comes out, but if I do, I will post an update. But yeah, I'll let you know after the tournament how this deck did. See you in the next one.